everybody, and welcome to the Fortress of Comic News, episode 253. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside my co-host, Mike.
Hey, hello, everyone. Chris is going to tell us some tales. He went to Florida last week, and that's why we don't have an interview, just because we want to chat with him and see what all the trouble he got into with Travis Gibbs, or anybody knows him, Mr. Travis Gibbs. So how was Florida, dude?
Yeah, I definitely didn't screw up booking everybody. That definitely isn't what happened. But
yeah.
But you'll have 2 interviews next week, so that'd be cool.
No, yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, so I went down to Florida, spent some time with my parents. First of all, it's very weird that we send all of our old people down to Florida to live with dinosaurs.
Yep, alligators.
Yeah, saw some good alligators, hung out.
Mm-hmm.
Spent a day with Mr. Travis Gibb. Good people.
Yeah.
Went around some comic shops. Went to what was it? We Have Fun Comics.
Okay.
Something like that. And it was it was like a comics warehouse, man. You would have loved this place.
Oh,
my only complaint about it was that they didn't really have new comics labeled very well. Someone had to like point it out to me where they were. Not that I was really buying new comics, but I was just walking around going like, where the hell are the new comics?
Mm-hmm. Where's that new shit?
Other than that, like, dude, if you wanted variant covers, they had it. If there's a pop figure you wanted, he had a whole separate room that is bigger than my house, just full of pops and old action figures and shit.
Wow.
So at that store, I picked up. So I don't know about you, but when I go and like look around a comic store, I have to like buy something because I feel bad.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I did get stuff that I wanted. So let's start here. My shop didn't get this, so I got the local comic shop day version of Friday, Brubaker's book. So that was
cool.
They had a store exclusive of Crossover #1, signed by the artist.
Oh, nice.
So I got that.
Pretty awesome.
Johnny Cates.
Yep.
And then you remember that Monkey Prince variant we were looking at?
Yeah.
Bam.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Only $10. So
awesome.
I was very happy with that. Good shop. Really liked it. That was Travis's kind of like weekly shop. That's where he always goes.
And you went to one that had a bar, right? Some medieval.
Yeah, so that was the next one. This would be my favorite shop if I lived with Travis. It was called Kingdom Comics. And yeah, the guy put a bar in there with like a small selection of beer. He had one on tap and stuff. But it was funny because I asked him, I was like, why would you put a bar in your comic shop? And he just looked back at me and goes, why wouldn't I put a bar in my comic shop? It's like, touche.
We always talked about that at Two Kings, putting a bar in.
That'd so I brought it up at Two Kings yesterday when I went in to get my books, and he goes, "Yeah, I've always thought about if I got a bigger shop, I would put in like a Slurpee machine." Also.
Hell yeah! Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, that shop was fairly new. It's very much bigger than the shop that I go to on the regular. You used to go on the regular. And but he had like a gaming section. He has all kinds of he has CGC books. All of his new books are like right across the wall there. I highly recommend that shop. I really liked it. The owner was cool. I got to talk to his wife too, and she was really fun. So, and then there I picked up. They had Excellent #1, the Scotty Young variant, and of course it's dupe.
Nice. Of course you had to get it. Yep.
And then, because I'm a mark for Travis, I got the Kingdom Comics exclusive cover for Voodoo Nation's #1.
Oh, very cool. All right.
And then I also did some booking while I was down there, Mike.
Oh.
I was working for you a little bit.
All right.
So we're going to have the creator of this book here, so I picked this up, The Recount.
Okay, cool.
Scout Comics just got picked up for a movie deal.
Oh, nice.
But got those. And then... So, I don't know if we've talked about this on air or not, but like you and I both had issues with Travis's last Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And so he sent me copies and they never came through in the mail. Don't know why. So I was down there. He's like, hey, do you want a copy? And he grabbed me one. So I got Holiday Spirits Krampus variant while I was down there.
Krampus variant, nice. Okay.
And then just to add on to that, when I got home, I checked my mail. And what do you think was in the mail, Mike?
Probably Holiday Spirits.
Holiday Spirits.
The regular version. Nice. Awesome.
So, yeah.
And that's nothing to do with Travis. That was definitely some weird shit going on with the mail still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've even had, work, someone sent me a sample, and I've never had this happen before. They returned with, they just lost the package. I was like, wait, what?
I'm
like, I didn't know.
I'm actually fighting with my not fighting, but talking to my post office because I have 2 other packages that are missing.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. They're just stuff keeps going missing all of a sudden. It's not even like delayed; it's just gone.
And I actually talked to someone I know that works at the post office. You know how they're sending out the COVID tests to everybody, the rapid ones. Apparently, that's like really put a hinder in the mail office.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
Because that's 500 million extra packages that were just like overnight, like, hey, get these to everybody.
Yeah, no big deal.
But yeah, had a good time down in Florida. It's
awesome.
I probably picked the best time because it was like 70s with a nice breeze going through. It felt like springtime around here.
Yeah, right.
And walked with some gators, hung out with my parents, had a good time.
Did you try fried gator?
I did. It's delicious.
What did you think? It was. Did you think it tastes like chicken?
Chewy chicken, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a chewier chicken.
Yeah.
I don't look at a gator. I mean, I've had it. It was like, it tasted like fried breading, but I was like, I don't look at a gator and go like, like they look like dinosaurs.
I also have you ever flown into Atlanta?
Yes.
Or Atlanta, Orlando. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah, Orlando. Yep.
Okay, so I walked by a couple of the shops in the airport, and they had like a whole Harry Potter store there, and I thought of you and your lady there.
Yeah, they. It's funny how far they're bringing like Disney to and like fandom to people because there's Disney Springs, right? When you get to Orlando, which is like the Disney for adults where you could get drunk and spend money. Then, I mean, obviously they have Disney, but then when you get to the airport now, they're like, we'll just throw everything at you when you're leaving and coming in so we can get all your money. But yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, when you go into Atlanta, it's just all like Magic Kingdom this way. Like,
yeah, right.
Please go to the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, giant arrow. Spend money here. That's cool, man. I'm glad you got to explore some comic shops and see what's going on down there.
And I had another first while I was down there, too.
Oh.
While I was with Travis, he introduced me to, as he so lovingly put it, Jesus chicken.
Okay.
So I had Chick-fil-A.
Oh, okay. So you had Chick-fil-A for the first time?
Yeah, it was the first time I ever had Chick-fil-A.
Wow, because you have one out in New York that way.
Yeah, it's like 45 minutes away from me.
Yeah, that's out of the way for you, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And usually when I go to the town that it's in, because the town it's in is like it's basically a big shopping town. But when we go out there, like the guys go out there or something, we usually go to a nice restaurant or something. We're not like, hey, let's get Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. What'd you think though? The Jesus chicken.
It's good. It was good.
Yeah, it's nothing crazy. Honestly, I will say this: you have me on recording. The Popeyes chicken sandwich is hands down better than the Chick-fil-A, and I'll fight anyone.
I've had Popeyes once. It's been a long time.
The new chicken sandwich. It's like double the meat of the Chick-fil-A, which, from a quantity standpoint, hell yeah, fill me up. So just from that.
The guy at the drive-thru like gave me a weird look because I was like, can I get that without a pickle on it? And he just kind of looked at me like, why would you, like, what? I just go, I'm from New York.
Yeah. That's sacred. What are you doing? Awesome. Yeah, I mean, Chick-fil-A is good. As far as fast food goes, if there's Chick-fil-A, I'll probably grab it.
I would get it again. I mean, the sauce was good, but it's one of those things. People have told me my whole life like how great Chick-fil-A is, and I get it. I'm like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah. It's like it's been hyped up and built up your whole life, and then you get it's just a chicken sandwich at the end of the day. Cool, man. It sounds like you had a great time, and you got to experience some comic shops. It's cool to see like new and interesting shops doing their thing.
Yeah.
Not like the old grimy one that I went to near my apartment that was like, I make so much over poverty, blah blah blah. I was like, dude, I just wanted to buy some books. I don't know.
Like, I was looking to spend some money in your store, like, yeah. But okay.
I don't know why I'm getting into like this huge argument about politics. I just want to buy these books and leave. Yeah, so we had a finale for Peacemaker this week, so we'll be talking about that. Man, so and this is just coming out of that episode. I know we joke around that like let James Gunn do whatever he wants, but he said in an interview that for episode 8 they let him do whatever he wanted, and like that's what I've been saying. They're letting James just let him do whatever he wants, you know.
At this point, like your two brightest spots of your universe have been the two James Gunn things. So at one point they wanted Snyder to kind of be the Feige of DC, and obviously that didn't work out the way they planned.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying make James Gunn the Feige, but like, you know, just let him be. Like, work around James Gunn at this point, because as much as we love Shazam, and I think that's it on my side, but
it's all right. It's all right, folks.
But I do feel as overall your universe has been kind of lacking, and I'm hoping this year is going to be like a big swing upwards for them, because we'll talk about this later. I went to the movies and I saw the trailer for Batman twice, and like I'm excited now. I don't know.
I got my tickets.
I'm letting myself get excited.
I got my tickets. Yeah, I mean, usually it's a good sign when I already see articles coming out like Matt Reeves is like, yeah, we're talking about spinoffs for Catwoman, spinoffs for Penguin, and all this shit on HBO Max. I'm like, whatever. That's usually a good sign. So, I don't know when the review embargo lets up. Maybe this weekend.
Probably next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because because the big thing's Uncharted this week. That's the big release this week.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And then probably end of next week into the following. But so the theaters we have around here, other than my locally owned one, is Regal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how nationwide those are. I assume they are, but dude, Warner Brothers is spending so much money on this Batman movie. You can't walk into the theater and turn a corner without seeing Batman. And at one point during so once again, we'll talk about this later, but the two movies I saw this week, I saw in like a double feature, like our own little double feature. And after the first movie, they were showing like a bunch of trailers, and then they were showing a bunch of other stuff. And whenever the Regal logo came up, Batman would be next to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just sitting with my friend, I look over and I go, apparently there's a new Batman movie coming out. And someone in the front row is like, are you a fucking idiot?
Are you You know what's so funny though? I had to get my oil changed like last week, and of course I used that time when I was waiting for my car to get worked on to catch up on my comics. So I'm sitting there like on my tablet reading comics, and this couple like sitting across from me, the guy was like on his phone, and this is like last week. He was like, apparently there's a new Batman coming out. It's like, and then I sat there and I listened to them have a conversation about like which Batman was the best, and they're like, I think Keaton will be my favorite. And I was like, wow, they settled on Keaton. Like, damn. I didn't want to interject, but I was like, I can't believe this conversation's happening right in front of me. Like, the irony here is too much. But I did agree with I'm okay with them settling on Keaton as the best Batman.
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
They chose wrong because it's Kevin Conroy, but it's fine.
Yeah. Always be the voice of Kevin Conroy. Yeah, so I'm looking at these show notes, and I completely forgot that like the Super Bowl happened after we recorded last week. So things are a little messed up for us because we saw some shit during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So we haven't even talked about the Doctor Strange thing, which we're going to talk about in a second here. But
I should say too. Sorry, these just popped in my head. Two other things that happened while I was in Florida. My mom loves me because she got me this.
Oh man!
To the audio listeners, it's a Mayor McCheese pop
Mayor
figure.
McCheese, yeah.
And I kept asking everybody where Del Boca Vista was, and nobody could tell me.
Del Boca Vista?
That's where Jerry's parents went to live in Seinfeld.
Oh, I don't know if that's a real place in Florida.
It's not. But I kept
So-
asking locals I ran into. I was like, "Do you know where the Boca Vista is?" And they just looked at me like,
oh man, you're like 10 years too late for that reference. I think that's awesome. That's great. They're probably like, man, these fucking New Yorkers. All right, you want to just go through this news? What do you think?
"Yeah, we got a decent chunk this week."
Amazon released a new trailer for The Boys Presents Diabolical. Alongside that, though, we got a whole slew of the cast, and it's just like Invincible, man. They're just everybody and anybody is on this. So I talked with Derek Robertson, tweeted with him. It was like, he's like, I can't believe, this is the cast on my show or, on my property. And it was like Kevin Smith, Michael Cera, and I can't remember, Kevin Costner or something like that. I was like, or no, the Mr. Robot. I don't know if that's Kevin Costner. I can't think of the name. But either way, the names on this show are ridiculous.
Yeah, Simon Pegg was in there.
Yeah, Simon Pegg.
Yeah, there's the show looks fun and goofy and weird.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it. I'll watch it. It's 8 episodes, like one-shot stories, so that should be fun.
It's interesting that they have like the mainstream boys characters in it. I didn't think we were going to see that, but
what I'm confused about now, and I'm the only person confused about this because I think too much about it, was when Butch showed up, he didn't have a beard.
Yeah.
So, is this related to the TV show?
I don't know. Yeah, because I don't know. That's a good point. They're not like using the same voices either. They're not that's not the actors playing the voices.
Yeah, which I could be fine with if they just got different voice actors, but like, yeah. And I'm going to enjoy it either way, but I looked at it, I was like, this is more true to the look of the comics than the TV show, so I was kind of confused. And I feel like maybe your average viewer isn't going to be is going to be more confused by that than we would.
And it's like, by the team that brought you Invincible, so they're trying to pull in those fans too. I mean,
it's probably the same animation house that does it, which it looked similar to Invincible, so I could see it.
Yep. Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna watch it either way. Only 8 episodes.
100%.
So Super Bowl gave us a new trailer from the Moon Knight series. Got to see him in the mask and everything like that. What do you think? Is it everything you wanted?
Got to see his moon rings.
His moon rings is what they're called.
That's not really what they're called, but
that's a good name. The moon rings.
Yeah, it looked good. I like we also got, was that this week, the Empire cover, where we saw him in kind of a suit and tie look as well. So they're going to do different suits. So everybody freaking out about the mummy suit. It's like, calm down. I like him kind of swooping down with the big cape. Like, that's always been kind of iconic for Moon Knight. Obviously more iconic for Batman, but still.
Right.
And yeah, everything looked good to me. I want the show at this point. I'm so excited. You could show me nothing else and I'll be there for it.
That's kind of where I am at. Like, if I see the beginning of the trailer, I won't like watch the rest now because I'm like, it's coming out in March, right? It'll be here soon, so I don't really need to keep, teasing myself with that. What I did jump the James gun this last week here, and I revealed the spoilers on who was in the Suicide or Peacemaker episode.
Oh, you asshole!
I had to do it. I had to see because like I was too excited not to do it. I had to wait till like 7 p.m. to watch the episode. So first off the bat, Peacemaker gets renewed for a 2nd season. James Gunn confirmed that, and he's still doing the Suicide Squad's other character spin-off character show. So that's 2 more shows James Gunn's delivering to DC. Okay, episode 8. We're just gonna talk. I mean, right out of the gates here. Spoilers, obviously. He gets the fucking Justice League to make an appearance, and not only the Justice League, he gets Aquaman to talk about fucking fish. So hands down, this man deserves. It's like it's got to be a higher tier level than an Academy Award. Whatever transcends that. Give him that.
the Nobel Peace Prize is probably fitting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so they got so they only got Aquaman and Flash, really. They got stand-ins to do Superman and Wonder Woman, and their faces are just black. Like,
right.
they're shaded just perfectly.
Do you know there's some controversy, too, about the Batman and Cyborg? Have you seen all that?
No, but lay it on me.
They did shoot the actors that stood in for Batman and Cyborg posted pictures in the Batman one posted a picture in a suit and said we were cut from the final thing. So it was the whole Justice League there, but they cut Cyborg and Batman for some reason. And then James Gunn said in an interview, the ones they picked was because of future things happening, and I don't know what that means, and who knows why. But everybody's making a whole hullabaloo out of it. But either way,
I can make boardroom sense of this. So you get rid of Cyborg because he talks too much, and we don't like that.
Yep. Yeah.
But the Batman thing actually is interesting because that could hint towards what they do with Batman moving forward. Is Pattinson Batman going to be the new Batman? Are they going to kind of retcon him in?
Well, it's looking like Keaton Batman is the DC Universe Batman.
It could be Keaton as well. Like, there's a lot of questions because we're doing Flashpoint, and Flashpoint is kind of a reboot of sorts.
And we know Keaton is in the Batgirl movie, so what does that mean?
Well, I mean, because fucking it's comics. We could have two Batman,
Oh, yeah. Batman. Oh, man.
So quick story about the Keaton and Batgirls thing. I was talking to somebody about how the only thing I want to come out of this Flash movie is Batman Beyond. Like, that's it.
Right.
Give me Batman Beyond. Let Keaton be old man Batman, and I'll be happy. And somebody's like, well, he's going to be in Batgirl, so it's probably going to be the same thing. And I just looked at him and was like, this is my one chance in life to get Batman Beyond. This opportunity will never appear again in my lifetime.
Right.
To have the old Batman come back and be old Bruce Wayne like that. No offense to all the Batgirl fans, but like, we've had Batgirl stuff in the past. Fuck your Batgirl. I want Batman Beyond. And
it could still happen. It could still happen.
But yes. So I understand that, not doing like cutting Batman. I actually understand both of them from their point of view. Not saying it's right, but
they could have just not wanted to reveal. That's going to be the big reveal if whatever Batman did show up there. I mean, we know it's not Batfleck. We know that.
Yeah, because he's kind of moved on. Did you also hear the story of how that came about too?
No.
So that wasn't originally in the episode.
Okay.
And they mentioned it as a joke to Momoa at one point, and he said, "Oh, that's funny. Let's do it."
Yeah.
But by this point, Gunn was already working on Guardians.
Okay.
So Marvel had to okay him going over to Warner to work on that and film that scene. So he actually got to leave the Guardians set and delay production to go by like a day, but still to go do that scene. Yeah, because the only way Momoa would do it is if he could work with Gunn.
Listen, they're letting James Gunn do whatever he wants, and this is what should happen. Yeah. This is just let him do whatever he wants. This man made an awesome Scooby-Doo movie. You let him do whatever the fuck he wants.
I forget he did Scooby-Doo.
And it's rewatchable, I will confirm.
I'll say this, though, the rest of the episode. So the Peacemaker walking by Momoa, Aquaman, and being like, go fuck a fish was hilarious.
Yeah, that was so good.
The rest of the episode was good, but it was just like one long action sequence.
I mean, the fight scene was awesome in the field with all the... Yeah. I thought that was a great shot.
I thought the destruction of the cow was a little underwhelming, but other than that, it was
gross.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't like that he like ended up with the girl too. Like that didn't. I don't know. That was too far of a redemption for me. But
yeah, I mean,
nitpicks. They're nitpicks. Right.
If anything, he's there. He's like she would have had nobody by her bedside while she's recovering. So,
I kind of want a vigilante to be there. I want her to end up a vigilante.
Either way, vigilante. I thought flipping that character around and making him like Deadpool was great. like the comedic relief style instead of being so serious. I was hoping we would have got the scurvy helmet. Is that what it was? Scurvy or shingles? Shingles helmet or something?
Yeah, I think it was shingles.
Yeah. So some missed opportunities there. The shot at the end, though, of like him pouring the last bit of goo out for the butterfly was really fucking sad.
Yeah.
Just little things like that. I think James Gunn did a great job. I thought it was a great show, really fun. I've been telling everybody to watch it. The crazy part is, they're saying there's more viewers on the finale than the. I think they've gained viewers every episode, is what they said. So like, definitely this is getting popularity by like word of mouth.
Yeah, by people like us and just reviewers being like, "This show's awesome. Everybody should check it out," which it deserves. It's great. It's
so.
All in all, I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about this again in December when we do our awards.
And if the question comes up for all you new and about to watch it, Peacemaker fans, do you really want to taste it? The answer is yes. There you go. That's how we're going to wrap that up. Movie news. Okay, Warner Bros. Is reportedly doing a Wonder Twins movie for HBO Max. It's said to be written and directed by Adam Seatskill, who wrote the script for Black Adam. This is interesting. The latest rendition of Wonder Twins, they're interns at the Hall of Justice. If they do that for this movie, hell yeah.
Yeah, it makes so much sense to do it that way too.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, they haven't really established a Hall of Justice, but it wouldn't be that hard to just be like, yeah, there's a Hall of Justice, everybody.
And just have like a bunch of B and C list heroes walking around. I think that would be so awesome.
Yeah, like, I'm down for this if they do it right. It would be very easy to mess it up, because the Wonder Twins, to be honest, at least for me, I'm sure I'm speaking for you as well, the only really rendition we enjoy is Mark Russell's that he did.
Yeah.
And that seems like the perfect template to take it, because it just had enough heart and enough comedic relief and all that to do it right. Yeah, why not? Let's
I mean, make
the goddamn Wonder Twins.
Make it fun. Yeah, it's like, I didn't think I would be seeing the JSA on a screen. So that's just it, right? So this guy who wrote the script for Black Adam, we're already seeing as a JSA movie, is now writing the script for Wonder Twins. I think it's in good hands. That was the point I wanted to make. Like this dude definitely understands the deeper cuts of the DC universe. So hopefully get something cool out of it.
This also gave me kind of a little more faith in the Black Adam movie.
Yeah.
As I said kind of earlier, like, I feel like DC is going to be in an uptick this year. Yep. And by giving him this and saying, like, you stay with us for a little bit longer, that tells me that they're happy with what happened with Black Adam.
Yeah. Maybe they do this just to keep him around for, like, the next Black Adam movie or something. Just to keep him on retainer almost. Yeah, so we got a new Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness trailer. There's a lot of things going on here, because we do hear the voice of Sir Patrick Stewart.
Yes.
And we see his bald head. So, and I think, was it Kevin Feige that said this is like the love letter to all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe or something? So, we're going to see, I have a feeling, between him saying that, Sam Raimi directing, and Mr. Xavier himself in the trailer, this is going to be off the fucking rails.
Yeah. Everything about this trailer I loved. And let me tell you this. I keep saying this and it keeps happening and happening, but I don't know, 10 years ago, there wasn't a world where I'd be like, yeah, there'll be a Doctor Strange trailer during the Super Bowl. Let alone a Doctor Strange. Yeah, let alone a Doctor Strange trailer that features the multiverse.
Yeah, right.
Like,
it has Marvel Zombies in it. It has Patrick Stewart reprising his role as Xavier, bringing the X-Men into the cinematic universe.
Yeah,
man.
And did you see so there's one too where they're pretty sure that Iron Man's in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like the suit that they use is from the what'd they call it? It was the Invincible Iron Man that Tom Taylor did after Axis, where he kind of became.
Oh, yeah.
So if anyone remembers Axis, they basically switched a bunch of heroes and villains and said like this hero's now a villain and so on and so forth. It was a gimmicky thing for like a year or two, and they made Iron Man into this just a dick.
Yep.
And of course, got Tom Taylor to write it. Mm-hmm. And so there's a Iron Man flying around with that suit on because the suit in this version he wants to show his face because he's so vain.
Yep.
And people are thinking that Tom Cruise is going to play that version of Iron Man.
Oh my god, that would be awesome.
So if that's true, that's awesome too.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some crazy cameos, but the ones that make sense, I mean, I'm hearing that Deadpool is going to be in it now, which, I mean, if you're bringing the X-Men in too, yeah, I mean...
There's a rumor that this will debut the MCU's version of Wolverine as well.
Oh, I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah.
Can I get a Reed Richards somewhere? Where does Reed Richards show up in all this, huh?
That's a good question.
Can we just like boom, Reed Richards is here, no origin, Fantastic Four. Let's go.
Yeah. Speaking of that too, you saw the rumor that the director for Fantastic Four, who was the director of the Spider-Man movies, is now being signed on to do a Star Wars movie.
Josh Trank?
No, isn't Watts something?
Oh, from the
recent Spider-Man movies.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah.
He signed on to do a Star Wars movie now?
Allegedly. That's like a rumor among rumors. But he's doing the Fantastic Four movie too, so I'm like, if we could get Reed Richards in this, even if it's just like, hey, look at that multiverse, and we see some dude like stretchy,
yeah, or like a rock person,
yeah,
or just like four silhouettes. Like do what James Gunn did. Give me 4 shadows standing there, and you can clearly see a dude on fire, a stretchy dude, a woman with a bubble around her. Like it's easy to do. Like you can easily CGI this shit. You know?
Oh man, yeah. This movie, it's going to be fun leading up to it because I'm sure we're going to be talking a lot of rumors.
Oh yeah.
And when we finally get there too, I just get a feeling there's so much going on in this movie. This is kind of the first real dabble into big multiverse stuff we're going to see on the big screen. We've seen like Spider-Man where you're like, there is a multiverse and these guys came from it, but this is him like going through it.
And I mean, obviously, Xavier being there is it called the Quintessence in Marvel, or is it the what do they call the group with like Sorcerer Supreme and everything?
Oh, Illuminati.
Illuminati. It's the Quintessence in DC. Yeah, so I guess we'll probably be seeing that.
Yeah, I'm sure we're gonna be seeing that too. And then, and everybody go watch What If, because apparently it's way more important than we thought, because evil Doctor Strange is in this as well.
A lot of, Marvel Zombies, everything. So go watch What If.
There's an alleged also that Captain Carter is going to be in this as well.
That would be awesome. That would be so awesome. All right, Chris watched a couple movies, so give us the lowdown.
Yeah, so went out with some friends, had some ramen.
Nice.
And then went and saw a double feature. So we went and saw, I'll start with this. First movie we saw was Jackass Forever. I'm not going to say a whole lot. If you like Jackass, if you like that comedy, it's more of it. It's fun. They're all a bit older. Whatever.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. It kind of brought me back to those old movies and that TV show. So that's that. I won't get too much into that. But I also saw Uncharted.
Yeah.
Did you play those games?
No, I know of them though.
So I'll say this: it's better than I thought it would be.
Okay, that's good.
I did have fun. I enjoyed it. I would recommend if you like just kind of straightforward action movies, or like it's almost like Indiana Jones meets National Treasure.
Okay, interesting.
And Tom Holland was like better than I thought he would be as Nathan Drake. And there's some cool little cameos in there too. You'll see, like in one scene, I caught the Naughty Dog logo in one of his briefcases.
Funny.
The voice actor for Nathan Drake actually has a cameo in that too.
Nice.
And all in all, it's just like a fun adventure movie. My only gripes would be they did miss out on one important element of like Uncharted. So I guess mild spoilers. If you don't want to hear this, move ahead. But one of the things about Uncharted is at the end of every game, there's a like supernatural element to what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is like they always lose the loot, but like gain a little bit. So at the end of this movie, I kept waiting for like werewolves to pop up or something.
Yeah, right.
And it just didn't happen.
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
It's disappointing.
So it missed that element. And then if you are going to see it, there's an after credits scene too, where everybody was complaining Mark Wahlberg didn't grow a mustache for this, myself included.
Mm-hmm.
And in the final scene, you see him, he pops up, and it's like months after the events of the movie, and he's got a mustache, and he has a cigar in his mouth, and I screamed. I was like, oh my God, they fucking did it.
Okay, so overall, it was fun.
Fun. Probably, honestly, wait for rental or Netflix or whatever, but I enjoyed my time with it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I won't be rushing to the theater to see that like I am for Batman.
Yeah. Oh, this too. So you know how like we get the Marvel movies and the DC movies, and they have the beginning. It's like DC Films, and it shows Batman and everything. This is the first movie to come out of PlayStation Studios films, and they have a similar crawl, and it goes through the different Sony properties, and so they showed like The Last of Us, and they showed Uncharted, and then Kratos from God of War is there with the axe, and I was sitting there in the theater just going, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like these are things that nobody else like. I'm actually probably exaggerating, but like so many people seeing this movie don't know what that is,
right? Right.
And it was just kind of cool to see it. Things I never thought would be on screen like that.
Yeah, they're like, here we go, cashing in the money.
Yep, gotta do it.
All right, something else we got to do. Comic book news. Marvel's announced they're adapting George R. R. Martin's novel series Wild Cards for comics because it's completed. Wild Cards is a superhero universe Martin started in 1987 with 27 books released. The latest being in July 2020, also being adapted for Peacock's streaming service series. The first comic will be a miniseries called Drawing of Cards by writer Paul Cornell, with art by Mike Hawthorne, coming summer 2022. How did I never hear of this? He has 27 books out in a superhero universe.
He has a ton of books, dude.
Wow.
My father's been a fan of his forever, since before I was born.
Yeah.
And I always thought it was funny with the whole Game of Thrones thing, how people were mad that he couldn't finish books. Yeah. Because he didn't finish that one book. But the dude's prolific.
Oh, yeah.
He's done a ton of shit over his career.
Yeah, that's insane.
Wow. That said, I don't know. Another superhero universe?
Yeah, do we need another one?
I mean, I get it. Disney owns NBC, which owns Peacock, and here you go, Marvel.
There you go. They need theirs.
Notice it's not like Jason Aaron or Donnie Cates writing it. No offense to Paul, but yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. I might check it out. DC announced, I will be checking this out, that Aquaman's getting a new Black Label 3-issue series titled Aquaman Andromeda. The series is said to be a psychological thriller horror that puts Arthur against his longtime foe, Black Manta. What? The series will be written by Ram V with art by Christian Ward. I love me some Ram V, so I will be checking it out.
Love me some Aquaman, love me some Black Label. Yeah, I guess I'll pick it up.
Yeah, you'll pick it up. Tom King and DC have announced his next Black Label 12-issue series. This is a bad idea. Is coming this summer. The series will be bi-monthly. Very bad idea. And released and called Danger Street. The series will bring back some lesser-known DC characters that originally premiered in DC first-issue special anthology series like Starman, Metamorpho, and Warlord. The series will feature art by Jorge Fornes. So basically, they're like, Tom, listen, you can't get books out on time, so what we will do is we'll give you this thing that comes out every other month, right?
I believe that's what bi-monthly is.
And we're going to let you take all the characters that are out of continuity nobody gives a shit about. You can't mess this up, now go. Interesting.
Also, people are really talking that Human Target's really good.
Yeah?
So...
Yeah, I got to read it.
I'm waiting for it to come out in trade, but so maybe that's a part of it too. I don't know. we keep saying over and over again, but like, sorry, Tom, I'm not reading your books until the trade comes out because I can't trust it's going to come out in time.
Right.
And I also got to look and see what people are saying about it because every time I jump on, I get disappointed partway through. So
yeah,
we'll see.
I don't know. I feel like people. I always like start drifting off around issues 5 or 6 with a series, and I'm like, it's just not grabbing me.
I wonder. He's got this like gravitas to be like the 12-issue series guy.
Yeah.
And I wonder sometimes if he should just like hone it into 6.
Yeah. Like reduce that number sometimes.
Yeah, like he's just trying to stretch things out a little bit too much or be a little bit too clever with things.
Or it's DC making money off it.
That too.
You know.
Yeah, we'll wait and see on this one.
DC's canceling 2 of their ongoing series after the storylines end. The 2 in question are Teen Titans Academy and the Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad Earth 3 crossover is not affected because that's jumping over to the book Earth 3, or War of Earth 3, something like that. I forget what it's called.
I think it starts with a War of Earth 3 and then it crosses over into 2 different books.
Yeah, so that's going to be hype because we're getting an ongoing book that has Earth 3 in the title. Take my money. Yeah.
A little surprised. I mean, the Teen Titans one, whatever. Nobody's written it. I'm sorry.
Right.
But really, a little surprised in Suicide Squad one.
I'm sure they're going to... Something's going to come out of the event, I think.
Probably. I mean, it's not like... They did this once before with the Tom Taylor run.
Yeah.
Recently. And so, yeah, definitely. Somebody's jumping onto this book.
It's going to be a new book called Task Force 3 because it's going to be the people from Earth 3 because that's what Amanda Waller has been trying to do is grab the Crime Syndicate folks to be in her Suicide Squad.
Oh, that'd be cool. I almost wonder if like we're going to get an announcement in 2 months that's like, I don't know, pick a name. Scott Snyder is doing Suicide Squad now. You know, like that's what they're...
that would be sick.
Something along those lines. Like some big name's going to jump onto it. Probably Joshua Williamson because he's writing everything else.
Listen, keep bringing the Crime Syndicate into my mainstream, and we'll be okay. The Hero Initiative, this is pretty big, has worked out a deal with DC and Marvel to re-release the seminal series JLA Avengers by Kurt Busiek and George Perez. All the proceeds will help out the Hero Initiative, in which Perez was a founding member, to help with the goal of helping comic creators in their time of need, such as medical bills, financial issues, etc. There's a small catch, though. The collected edition will only be available through Diamond distribution, which means only at local comic shops, limited to 7,000 copies, will retail at $28.99, available March 16th. I would love to get my hands on one, but I doubt I will.
Yeah, I talked to my local shop, and he said that they were... So the lowdown for everybody, they put in their orders, but they're not guaranteed what they ordered.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically... Because me and him were joking, like, if I was him, or even, you know, if I was Midtown, or whoever, like, pick a store, I would just put an order for 7,000.
Right.
Because why not?
Yeah.
That book will sell. And I don't care how small your audience is, you can sell 7,000 copies.
Oh, yeah.
So I get a feeling that it's going to be distributed a little bit more evenly based on numbers and all that bullshit.
Like two to three per shop or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And what a shop near me likes to do is put it on display and sell it for like $800.
A lot of shops will do that. So yeah, he had a list of people that want it. But he told us all we're not guaranteed. And
right.
I told him, I was like, you know, when March 16th comes, I'll call you. If it's there, I'll come pick it up. If not, I'll just get my regular books. But
yeah.
I want it. I have it in single issues. And to everybody out there, we looked it up yesterday, actually. The single issues are still very affordable.
Yeah. They're not that expensive.
Yeah, they max out like $15 an issue. But it'd be nice just to have a copy on my bookshelf to read whenever I want to.
For sure. Yeah. Nice reading copy would be great. All right. Comic book notes I got here. I took the time to like write down my thoughts instead of flipping through my comics.
Oh, look at you.
So I organized them in a nice Word document. I'm going to try to do that every week now. Iron Fist #1. Did you read the new Iron Fist this week? You're not interested in that. So we all know I'm a Shang-Chi fan. I was an Iron Fist fan. Honestly, I'm just like, I've been burnt out by Danny and what Marvel has been doing with him, and I'm just kind of like, younger me, child me loved Iron Fist, right? The white dude doing kung fu, like that was awesome. Older me wants more depth to my character than some rich white dude that inherited the fist, the Iron Fist. So what Alyssa Wong did with this issue is we get a new Iron Fist. We learned that Danny Rand gave up the power to save the world, whatever. And Lin Lei is he's a young kid that gets the powers. He comes from like a long line of family that has relation to like the dragon Sha Lao and Kun Lun. I know I'm saying a lot of names I'm probably butchering here, but so like what's different than Danny is that this character comes from a generation that has history here and has a little more weight to like being the champion and the Iron Fist. There also is another layer to it that like he comes from a family of 3 weapon holders that these weapons hold back the god of war, and demons are trying to shatter those weapons to bring the god of war to their world, which is pretty awesome. So like we get a little more insight into him. He has a friend that she's said to be the next Thunderer, which is awesome because I love the title of Thunderer. I always thought that character was great. They're at her parents for dinner, and like after he met Danny Rand and stuff. And the father turns out to be a demon. So the demon are starting to possess people that are in the village, and he's kind of a young. So he has the fist, but he doesn't have the martial arts training as such, or not the experience. Like he has the fist, he just doesn't know what to do with it. And the way he got it was almost like the dragon saved him when he was dying. Not that he was looking to attain this power. I thought it was a really good first issue. It did a lot. I think there's a lot more depth to the character, and I think what Alyssa Wong wanted to do was, have an Asian Iron Fist, and she successfully did it. I think it's a nice change of the character. I mean, we've had Danny, the burnt out rich boy. That was like the last run they did with him. I wasn't too happy with that one. Immortal Iron Fist is always going to be great, but I thought this was
of course
a great.
Brubaker wrote it.
Yeah, exactly. I think this was a fresh start, and I was pleasantly surprised for like a Marvel #1. I went into it and I was like, let me try this out. I was really happy with how they treated the character. I thought it was great.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's a character who has his following, and people love him, but like, I don't know. The fact that there was a TV show was a minor miracle.
Yeah, and I'll say this, Chris. I realized after reading this book that I don't really care who is Iron Fist. I love the idea of Iron Fist. Like the champion of the village that like gets the dragon's chi, and is the defender. I think that is awesome. I think the whole idea is great. The world building.
I was just gonna say, like, it's not a character who I'm sure somebody's up in arms about it, but I don't really get too up in arms about who is Iron Fist.
Right.
It's not like when they eventually change Batman, I'm going to be like picking that apart. Like,
right,
you got rid of Bruce for this?
Yeah, right.
I don't feel that way about Danny.
and I don't think you're ever supposed to have Iron Fist forever. Like, obviously, you have to give it up at some point. I mean, it's based in a kung fu village where there's tons of tournaments and fighting and clashing.
Danny will be back. This character will become Kung Fu Man or whatever, and we'll probably have a book called Iron Fists.
Yeah,
I've been reading Marvel for a long time.
Yeah, we will. But as far as I like this character, I like what Alyssa Wong did, and hats off to her. Very impressed.
Cool.
Radiant Black #12, Kyle Higgins, Megan Camarena. Have you read this?
No, I'm behind on Radiant.
So this is the origin of the Pink Radiant, Ava, and the yellow one, who's the older man who helps her. He helps her find her Radiant to get her powers. and she's like a Twitch streamer and is kind of like down and out on her luck, and it's a I know you rolled your eyes. It's no, but it like makes fun of like, and not makes fun, but it shows the absurdity and ridiculousness of having to stream for people.
Okay.
And then she kind of was like, well, what's my purpose? Like, I'm really just like burnt out, not doing anything meaningful. And then she gets the powers, and she can use teleporters. We find out, I don't know if we knew this already, but the yellow radiant can see into the future and what's to come for everybody.
Yeah, that popped up in one of the battles.
So they talk about it again, like he knows what's going to happen. It was a great issue. We Only Kill Each Other #4, Stephanie Phillips, and Peter Krause. This is a pretty good issue. So Kaminsky and Solomon, we know, are the gangsters that were working with the DA to find out more about this Nazi cult. They're running from the Nazis in the last issue in a car chase. They want to find out more about the leader, so they get a hold of one of the guys and they get some information out of him. But now the DA is pissed because they started a whole car chase, brought a ton of attention to themselves. Doesn't want to work with them anymore. Thinks that they're doing their own thing. So now the DA and the head of the Nazis are both looking for them. They go to like the dude's mother's house to get weapons and stuff like that. And what they did find out is there's a plot to kill Roosevelt. The Nazis are planning to kill Roosevelt when he gives a speech or something like that. So it's a pretty interesting story. Stephanie handles history and comics very well. So it's good shit. Batman the Knight #2, Zdarsky and Carmen Di Giandomenico. Have you read this?
Oh yeah,
it's good shit. This is Bruce in Paris. He's in France. Everybody. It was an interesting. I thought it was cool. He's like shadowing this older thief. She's definitely more experienced. She's like, she sees him as a young man and very inexperienced, and he realizes like, oh, to be a good Batman, I have to think like these criminals. Like I have to get down to and this is kind of where he levels himself out with them, where it's like, oh man, if I'm going to be a vigilante, I really am I'm no different than the criminals out there. There's always that conversation of like, Batman's breaking the law too, right? So, and I think he's like, oh shit, well, yeah, I kind of have to do that to push myself forward. So obviously he gets part of it. He becomes part of it. Partners with this, or at least an apprentice to this thief, and they get caught doing a heist at the end of the book. I think this is pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good issue, and I'm not sure if this is the right word, but like there's some foreshadowing in there too, because he kind of like falls for her and tries to kiss her.
Yeah.
So it kind of like shows like he has this tendency to fall for bad girls, I guess.
crazy diamond thieves. Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was a really good issue though. I liked it.
No, yeah. Chip's doing a great job. Hulk #4. This is Donny Cates, Ryan Otley. Man, every issue is just so much fun, dude. Hulk takes on General Ross. So there's a huge fight scene. The Bruce Banner that brought Hulk into the world is like using him to fight off General Ross as he comes to attack him. We also find out what happens to most of the heroes on that world. They're either dead or they don't exist in the fashion that our Bruce Banner knows them.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see the secret weapon, or the thing that Ross is like dangling over Bruce Banner. He's like, you need to stop your Hulk, because he is really laying waste to all of Ross's forces. As we see an individual with a bag over their head that gets pushed off a cliff. And as he's falling, like the Bruce Banner of this new universe or world says, oh, that was my understudy Peter Parker. And he was like bitten by a radioactive spider. And he goes, what radiation? And then the last panel is a giant Spider Hulk. What a fucking issue. I thought it was great. I mean, this book is so much fun.
Yeah, and if you enjoy seeing Cyclops' head explode in a panel, it's there. It's got everything for you.
It's got everything. If you're pissed about stupid X-Men books, that'll happen.
Such a good, like this issue culminated for me like that. I'm really enjoying this series. I was kind of like half and half, like I'm not sure what's going on here, but this like after this I go, okay, this Donnie's got it now.
He understands. Great series for sure. My bad, number 4. Mark Russell, Bryce Ingman does does some of the stories in there, and Peter Krause in the art. This book is so much fun. I mean, it's satirical classic comic book superhero humor. You open up the book and there's a fake quote from Socrates about the power of love, which is pretty awesome. So the first story is about Chandelier, and he's still trying to find out like who sent him that salad mixer or whatever, and he encounters a lion villain by the name of Lion L. Richie.
Nice.
And he quotes Lionel Richie as he's fighting him. Pretty funny. The next story is this is part of the same story. Emperor King is planning a big announcement, and Chandelier freaks out because he thinks that Emperor King is like gonna out him and his secret identity. And there's more funny stuff that happens, like he can't get a sandwich at like a local sub shop in his normal identity, but then if he goes as Chandelier, they like hook him up with a giant, sandwich, that kind of thing. The second story is about Rush Hour recovering with Emperor King. They actually become like friends and like roommates because Emperor King traps him in this crazy torture like device thing that takes him through like 8 levels of torture, and it was meant for someone else. But the thing is, like, Rush Hour is like this go-getter young kid hero that, even though his like, I think they say like his testicles were cut off or burned off and he was like burned alive, but he's like Emperor King wheels him to the hospital. He's like, you don't have insurance? He's like, no, I don't have insurance. So there's a whole conversation about that. But he's like, he says that Emperor King, it makes him like, just from the acceptance and the forgiveness of Rush Hour, he wants to be a better person. So he like denounces being a villain and just wants to like help the world. So it's him and Rush Hour and Acid Chimp working together. Yes, he has a pet. He has a pet chimp named Acid Chimp. He gets the name Acid Chimp because he likes to throw barrels of acid at people. Hence the third story.
There was 2 ways that could have gone, and both were equally as good as the next.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And the last story, written by Bryce Ingman, is about Acid Chimp. It's a story about him wanting to buy acid to kill his 2 roommates. And he goes to the store, and the acid store is like, hey, this chimp wants to buy some acid. And they go, there's laws against us selling acid. We can't sell acid to a chimp. So they sell him barrels of water that they say are acid. And so he gets home, and he throws the barrels of water all over the Emperor King and Rush Hour. And they're like, oh, see, we knew he would never throw real acid on us. And the chimp is all pissed off, and he goes back to the chemical company that sold him the water. It's a great issue. Dude,
that's fantastic.
Man, it's so much fun. The stories are great. They're ridiculous. I absolutely love the stories and what they do with these characters. And then really quick, I caught up on Red Koi by Tyler Wetland.
Oh yeah.
Great story, samurai, supernatural kind of horror aspect, monsters and demons. I think it's a great story. Really cool universe that Tyler's built, and it's still ongoing there over at not Aftershock. Alterna. Thank you. I keep forgetting that. Yeah, so check that out. And a lot of their digital issues are $1, so it's really, if you're all digital like me now, it's really easy to get them in your email when you buy them. You can get a whole slew of books for like $20. And that's what I had this week.
So, just real quick, because you talked about it last week, I picked up Suicide Squad Blaze.
Oh, nice.
And it's pretty good.
Yeah, you liked it?
I enjoyed it. I'll keep with it. It's only 3 issues, I believe, so.
Mm-hmm.
And then Thor 22, another
Nice.
Donny Cates book. So basically the whole Marvel Universe comes to help Thor fight Mjolnir at the bequest of Jesus.
Jesus? Really?
Yeah, of Jesus. It'll come to me later when we're not recording. But yeah, so somebody calls them to help, and they end up going, and that's when Thor kind of reaches out to his birth mother in prayer and gains the ability to create this giant vortex to keep everybody out of the battle. And then in that moment, he also, his Odin sits down with him, and as he's trying to save Odin, gives his life to give Thor the power of the Allfather.
Mm.
And it ends with him kind of as the official Allfather Thor in this like nice gold suit and everything.
Ooh, cool.
So badass battle coming next issue.
Yep.
Let's see. Primordial number 6 wrapped up the book. I gotta say, all in all, the art for this book was really good. I kept waiting for like the thing to happen, and it never really did.
Mm.
But then when I like look back on it, what the book really was, and I think it'll read better in trade, was about this woman. One of the women who was part of the Russian space team sent out a dog into space, and it was like her pet and her friend. And then they took it from her and said, "This is who we're sending out in space." Because throughout the series, it goes from the 1950s up till basically today, when the dog and the chimps come back to home. And the whole story is just about the dog finding his way home to his mother.
Okay.
So it's a real sweet story, but like I was expecting something different out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So my expectations were like subverted, and that kind of ruined my enjoyment of it.
That sucks.
But it's still a good series. I think if you go into it with a different mindset, it'd be better.
Okay.
King Conan number 3. Basically, Conan's still on this island with like zombie people, and he finds out there's somebody at the top of the island in this cave. And this is a woman who is like supposed to be this great beauty, part of like an Egyptian princess and all this shit. Mm-hmm. And she's been cursed, and she's the reason that the zombies are appearing.
Oh.
And she's trying to get away from the curse. And by doing that, she was attempting to make Conan the new cursed one. And so it's this whole like psychological thing back and forth between her and Conan. And then there's also the backstory of Conan and his son, where he has banished his son from the kingdom because he wants him to go out and like live life before he comes home. And it ends with not only Conan figuring out about the curse and pushing the woman to the side, but also with his son challenging him to a duel because he doesn't want to leave.
Oh.
So it'll be interesting to see what the next issue is.
Cool.
Devil's Reign Superior 4, number 2. More multiverse shit. The Superior 4 Dr. Octopuses, which it clicked in my head that. So they took over the Baxter building in issue 1. So I got the idea that they're going for a Fantastic Four thing. But it's the new Fantastic Four because it's Otto, who is Reed Richards. And then there was an Otto that took over Wolverine's body, an Otto that took over Hulk's body, and an Otto that took over Ghost Rider's body. So it's the new Fantastic Four from...
Yeah. That's awesome.
But they find this alternate universe where Otto becomes Doctor Doom and the Sorcerer Supreme. And he's basically challenged the Otto Prime, if you will, for to be the superior Otto Octavius.
Interesting.
This is a fun multiverse book. I'm enjoying it for what it is.
Cool.
And then Aquaman The Becoming number 6, which is the last issue of that. Good guys win. I mean,
classic.
It was just wrapping everything up, all the different story arcs that were going on. Obviously, I got behind, so I read like I read 4 issues of this week, and it's Jackson finds out he has a sister. His mom was lying to him. all this like drama stuff. And meanwhile, it has to do with the divide between Zebul and Atlantis. And by the way, the character I was looking for during the Thor was Beta Ray Bill.
Beta Ray Bill. There you go. Nice.
Yeah, so at the end of this, they end up finding out that there's a terrorist organization inside of Zebul that was trying to divide the two, while Mera and Aquaman were trying to bring them together as one nation.
Mm-hmm.
And they defeat them.
Nice.
Meanwhile, like in the background, Aquaman kind of comes to the last second. If you remember in issue 1, he had to go off and like help the Justice League in space. Mm-hmm. That's how they justified him being gone.
Okay.
And he comes back the last second. He's like, "I'm here to help everybody," and they're all just standing there like, "Yeah, we got it, dude. Like, it's taken care of."
Thanks, dude.
And then there's kind of an epilogue where Aquaman's sitting there with Mera and Jackson. They're talking, and basically Aquaman's been grooming Jackson to take over for him because Arthur just had a kid. Mera's, Arthur and Mera had a kid, and they're kind of not going to be a part of the daily fight for justice shit as they used to be. And then that's when Black Manta shows up. If you remember last week when I talked about Black Manta issue 6, he shows up with that trident that he had. They defeated the other guy with and showed it to Aquaman. Basically told him like, we have to do something about this and together. And then next week we get Aquaman.
Nice. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, we do. Nice.
It was a good series, though. If you're an Aquaman fan, I recommend those two. And especially if you're looking forward to Aquaman. It's pretty critical, it seems.
That sounds like a new body spray.
The Beach by Calvin Klein.
Yeah. The Aquaman collection.
So that's all I had this week, Mike. Where can people find you on the internet? You
can find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter. Where can they find you and or the show?
You can find me at Fortress Chris on Twitter, and they can find the show at Fortress Comics _ on Twitter. Also at FortressComicNews.com. Remember, everybody, if you're watching the video version of this, to like, subscribe, share, comment down below. And if you are listening to the audio version of this, give us the 5-star review or whatever review process the podcatcher of choice you uses. And share with a friend, because sharing is caring. Also, if you want to go the extra mile, not only do we have the affiliate links down below in the show notes you can check out, also there is the Patreon at patreon.com/FortressComics. Thank you all so much for listening this week, and we'll be back here next week.
Bye-bye.